Hello, my name is Savannah Tripp. I'm going to talk to you today about the effects of alcohol on your body. First, the effects of alcohol on the brain. Alcohol changes the brain in three different ways, such as it makes the brain crave alcohol, it makes you continue to drink even though it has negative effects. Finally, it makes you lose control of your drinking. People who have been drinking have trouble with their balance, judgment, and coordination. All of these are physical signs and reasons why and how alcohol affects the brain. Alcohol affects the brain chemistry by changing the way the neurotransmitters work. Neurotransmitters are chemical messengers that transmit the signals throughout the body that control the way you think, behavior, and emotions. GABA is a form of neurotransmitters that is working to block certain urges between nerve cells in the brain. Therefore, GABA causes the sluggish movement and slurred speech. Alcohol is a depressant, which affects the nervous system because it attaches to certain GABA receptors. This causes people to be more relaxed and tired after drinking. Alcohol doesn't increase GABA, but it does increase serotonin and dopamine in the brain. This creates a feeling of enjoyment and pressure. Alcohol has a sedative effect on your brain, meaning after a couple of drinks, it may seem to relieve your stress and make you feel relaxed and calm, and it actually heightens the risk of depression. Alcohol temporarily shuts off the effect of stress hormones, and it depresses the brain and nervous system. People who abuse alcohol have a higher rate of depression. Studies have shown that 30 to 50% have shown signs of depression after abusing alcohol. To the right is a brain that is an alcoholic, and to the right is a normal brain and healthy levels of brain activity. What areas of the brain can be affected by alcohol and what happens? Alcohol in your brain, what to know? Drinking alcohol affects the way your brain works, changing everything from the way you act to your ability to walk. Some effects can be long-lasting. Learn how about alcohol affects different parts of the brain. Your memory. Hippocampus. Your memory is controlled by the hippocampus. Drinking a lot of alcohol at one time can cause you to black out or forget a period of time. Long-term alcohol abuse can permanently damage the hippocampus, making it difficult for a person to learn. Hypothalamus. Many body processes such as heart rate and the feeling of hunger or thirst are controlled in this small area. Alcohol can slow your heart rate and may make you hungrier or thirstier. Cerebral cortex. This is the main area involved in the thinking, decision-making, emotions, and the five senses. Alcohol's effects on this area and impair your ability to think clearly and lower your inhibitions. It makes you act without thinking or make you angry for no reason. Alcohol may affect your senses, such as blurring your vision. Long-term alcohol abuse can permanently damage this region. Cerebellum. This part of the brain is important for coordinating many of your daily movements, such as walking and grabbing objects. Alcohol can slow your reflexes. It may cause you to lose your balance or make your hands shake. Central nervous system. Alcohol slows down this system, which is made up of the brain, spinal cord, and nerves. That affects how signals flow through your body, making you think, speak, and move more slowly. Medulla. Involuntary processes such as breathing and maintaining body temperature are controlled here. Drinking a lot of alcohol at one time can shut down the medulla, leading to a coma. The first area of the brain to come under attack is called the forebrain. This affects the way a person coordinates and, most importantly, decision making. Second area to get attacked is called the midbrain. This increases chances of blacking out and losing complete control of your emotions. Finally, alcohol immediately goes into the brainstream, which affects your heart rate, body temp, appetite, and consciousness. This stage is very dangerous because it can possibly cause fatal conditions. Long-term effects. Heavy drinkers can result in permanent brain damage. Effects on your memory, such as memory loss. Dependence on alcohol can change the brain's chemistry. Wernicke-Korsakoff syndrome, a chronic memory disorder caused by the severe deficiency of thiamine, which is a vitamin. Short-term, intense moods, aggression, and depression, memory impairment, headaches, high level of confidence, reduced concentration, impaired decision-making. To the left is talking about how alcohol attacks the brain. Psychological effects and toxic reactions. So firstly, alcohol can cause psychological effects such as toxic reactions, heat loss, diuretic effects, sleep disturbances, adverse consequences in pregnancy, adverse interactions with other drugs, hangovers. Toxic reactions. According to the textbook, there are two psychological mechanisms, such as alcohol as a gastric irritant, meaning the drinker feels nauseated and vomiting. The drinker may pass out. Unconsciousness, cool or damp skin, weak, rapid pulse, shallow and irregular breathing rate, average around one breath every 3 to 4 seconds, pale or bluish skin. Heat loss, temperature regulation, how the body temperature is regulated. Once the alcohol is in the bloodstream, alcohol quickly spreads throughout the body. Alcohol enlarges the blood vessels as it enters the bloodstream, causing a great flow of blood to the skin surface, which causes blushing, temporary feeling of warmth, increased heat loss and decrease in body temp, drop in blood pressure. Diuretic effects. Kidneys as filters. According to the textbook, as concentration levels rise in the blood, alcohol begins to inhibit antidiuretic hormone, or also known as ADH. ADH is a hormone that normally acts to resorb water in the kidneys to eliminate urine. Urine becomes more thin and weak because large amounts of liquids are being consumed at the same time. When blood concentration levels have peaked, a condition occurs called antidiuresis. This happens when water is retained. Antidiuresis causes swollen fingers, hands, and feet. This can more likely to happen when intaking salty foods such as peanuts or pretzels. Effects on sleep and effects on pregnancy. First, we're going to talk about effects on sleep. Alcohol reduces the duration of sleep. According to the textbook, it reduces a phase called rapid eye movement, or also known as REM, sleep. People enter REM sleep within the first 90 minutes of falling asleep, and as the sleep cycle repeats throughout the night, REM sleep occurs several times nightly. It accounts for approximately 20 to 25% of an adult's sleep cycle and over 50% of infants. During REM sleep, the body and brain go through several changes such as rapid movement of the eyes, fast and irregular breathing, increased blood pressure, changes in body temp, increased heart rate, brain activity similar as to being awake. Now, how it affects on pregnancy. Drinking any amount of alcohol at any time while being pregnant can harm your baby's developing brain and other organs. Drinking alcohol during pregnancy increases the chance of having these problems. Premature birth. Premature babies are more likely to have serious health problems at birth or later in life. Premature babies are usually born before 37 weeks. Birth defects such as heart defects, hearing or vision problems, they can cause overall health problems, how the body develops or how the body works. Miscarriage. This is when a baby dies in the womb before 20 weeks. Stillbirth. When a baby dies in the womb after 20 weeks. Low birth weight. This is when a baby is born weighing less than 5 to 8 ounces. Interactions with other drugs. Alcohol often has harmful interactions in prescription medications, over-the-counter drugs, and even some herbal remedies. Alcohol interactions with medications may cause problems such as nausea, vomiting, changes in blood pressure, loss of coordination. Mixing alcohol with medication may also increase risk of complications such as liver damage, heart problems, internal bleeding, impaired breathing, and depression. Hangovers. Hangovers usually happen 4 to 12 hours after a night of heavy drinking. Symptoms may include headaches, nausea, fatigue, thirst. According to the textbook, alcoholic beverages include trace amounts of non-ethyl alcohol, oils, and other organic matter, which is part of the fermentation and distillation processes, which gives drinks their distinctive smell, taste, and color. The feeling of swollenness from the antidiuresis discussed earlier may contribute to the headache pain. The first may be due to the dehydration that occurred the night before. Violence. According to Live Science in 2010, the results of Scandinavian study found that the risk of violent behavior increases when intoxicated. It usually happens when people keep their emotions on the inside while they are sober. According to the textbook, 35% of victims report that the offenders have been drinking prior to the offense. When people drink, they tend to make terrible decisions and are more likely to react emotionally. They commonly are less likely to consider the consequences of their actions. Aggression. Alcohol is a disinhibitor, meaning it leads people to commit actions that are not accepted by society. Alcohol influences neurological or psychological mechanisms that normally control aggressions and antisocial behavior. Alcohol reduces our ability to think straight, says Professor McMurran, a psychologist at the University of Nottingham. It narrows our focus of attention and gives us tunnel vision. If someone provokes us while we are drunk, we don't take other factors into account, such as the consequences of rising to the bait. This can lead to violent reactions from people who would usually shrug things off. Alcohol causes chemical changes in the brain, which can initially make you feel relaxed, which can be one of the reasons we enjoy drinking. But according to the Professor McMurran, anxiety actually protects us by telling us to avoid or escape certain situations. He says, when we're drunk, this warning system doesn't work, and this can put us in dangerous or confrontational situations. Driving. Any amount of alcohol in your bloodstream can affect the way you drive. When alcohol is in your system, it affects how quickly you are able to respond to the situation. Drinking slows down your response time. For example, if a car were to brake, suddenly it would take your brain longer to process, therefore resulting in an accident. Driving requires your full, undivided attention, such as staying in your lane, speed, cars on the road, and traffic signals. Your attention span is automatically decreased with drinking. Heavy drinking can impact your vision. Impaired vision can affect how you judge the distance between vehicles or people on the road. So these are the levels, alcohol levels to the left. Pretty much your alcohol content. So at point 15, loss of balance, zero muscle control, and impaired vision. Point 8, lack of self-control, no concentration, and short-term memory. And point 2, lack of judgment, inability to multitask, and lack of visual functions. Treatments. There are 3 medications that are approved in the U.S., such as Antabus. This works as discouragement by making the person sick if they consume any alcohol. Naltrexone blocks the effects of alcohol in the brain and reduces the craving. And Compressate, or Compressate, relieves the distress and discomfort alcoholics experience when they stop drinking. Detox or rehabilitations. References that I have for this PowerPoint are alcohol's damaging effects on the brain, alcohol and aggression, Leffenthal, relationship between drug addiction, alcoholism, and violence. Thank you for allowing me to go over this information with you. And this is the end of my slides.